All right, Shalom. I want to first start off giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. And peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel. As we know, we're living in the last days, okay? And the last days is all about the last days of this wicked rulership of the so-called white man, okay? Which according to the Bible, they are the biblical Edomites, okay? And everybody around the world knows, except for a few simple people in this country, okay? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are just ignoring the fact, I say. But everybody knows that the so-called white man, he's running shit in the earth, okay? If something is going on the planet Earth and this man disagrees with it, okay, or he wants something to go his way, or he has a particular agenda, he gets the job done, you know? So, according to the book of Job 9:24, you know, let me go ahead and bring that out to start this lesson off. And Lord willing, I won't be too long-winded. I'll try to keep this video not too long, you know. So Job 9:24, you know, this is scripture we bring out all the time. And every time I read the scripture, it jump out off the pages at me, you know. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So through the process of elimination, when you read this scripture, which this scripture speaks volumes, and it narrows down specifically who only this scripture could be referring to. And that's Esau. Okay, the Edomites go back to their forefather, Esau. And that's who's ruling this planet Earth right now. They are today the so-called white people, and not your average, you know, Joe Blow that's walking up the street, or your average six-pack Joe. Okay? But they do have white privilege, so-called white privilege, right? They are the executives and CEOs of these companies and businesses, right? But then when you go on a higher level, you going into the banking system, okay? You find out that the so-called white man runs the banks. Okay, the international bankers, okay, and they pretty much control the flow of money. So I'll use that, the flow of money in the world through the banks, through having control of the banks. You see, and the Most High gave them rule. You see, and one key indicator, you know, that narrows down who this is talking about is the scripture say he covered the faces of the judges thereof. There's only one man that has done that in the earth, that put his face on everything. First and foremost, he put his face up as the Most High. He put his face up as the Son of the Most High. And we can stop right there, because that's the top judge right there, Yahweh and his Son, which they work in tandem. Okay? Yahweh gave authority to his Son. All authority to his Son. And the Son is obedient to the Father. You see? And the so-called white man put his face up as if he's the supreme judge of this earth. Right? And then the Most High shows some sarcasm in this scripture. He said, if not, Where and who is he? If the so-called white man is not the wicked that's ruling this earth, where and who is he? Okay, answer that question. Now, before I continue, I'd like to hit another scripture real quick. This is in the book of Daniel. Daniel 4:17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men." So it ain't that the so-called white man set himself up by his brilliance, his own brilliance, okay, to where he worked and conquered his way into power on his own. It's that the Most High sets up kingdoms and he takes down kingdoms. Okay, every kingdom got its appointed time to rule, and then before the Most High takes that kingdom down, and he always sent out the prophets to prophesy the downfall of a kingdom. Right? It says, and give it. Talking about kingdoms. The Most High giveth it to whomever he will, and set it up over it the bases of men. And that's what the Most High have done once again here in these last days. He set up the most base man on the earth. The so-called white man is viler than all the other nations. We go to Job, the 30th chapter, and they give a description of the vile nature of this bastard. You know? Now let me see if I can find this another scripture in Psalms that gets brought out often. I believe Psalm 75. Let me check that. Right, Psalm chapter 75, verse 6, it says, "For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south." It says, so nobody on this earth promotes themselves to any position they have, especially rulership. Okay? Let's read the 7th verse. It says, "But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and set it up another." So the Most High is the one that's in control, not man on this earth. All right? And he sets up one kingdom, and he takes, he put it down one. So he take down a kingdom after he didn't already set it up. And then he set up another kingdom after. The kingdom that's coming, which is going to be an everlasting kingdom in righteousness, is the kingdom of Yahweh, Yahweh the Israelites. Okay, and we know that. We read, let me go ahead and bring that scripture out. This is in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. It says, in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. And that's the kingdom of Israel, okay, which is to come. And who's going to rule that kingdom? Us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, and if our people, you know, we go out on the streets and we, and teach, and we put up these lessons, and, you know, we tell 2/3 of our people that, look, we're about to rule. We're the chosen people of the Most High. We're about to rule this planet Earth. They can't see it, you know, and you know, with the carnal mind, you're looking at it and looking at the condition of our people. It don't look like we gonna rule this planet Earth. Okay? But the Most High is setting up the rulership before the earth's very eyes by having his prophets go out and teach. Okay? Teach this word. That's the kingdom being established right there. The leaders coming together spiritually and mentally, okay, first, before the actual kingdom is set up. And they coming together through the spirit of truth. Right? Teaching. And we know that this, based upon prophecy, that the so-called white man It's finished. His time is up. It's just about up. It's really up. We waiting on the Most High to strike this man down. But based upon the prophecies, okay, we know what time we in. In the same chapter that I just read out of, Daniel 2, I'm sorry, the same verse that I just read, I'm sorry, let me say that again. Daniel, the second chapter, I just read the 44th verse of this chapter. It goes into, if you read above it, it goes into the image that Daniel interpreted for Nebuchadnezzar, right? Of these different kingdoms that the Most High was going to set up and take down one after the other. All right. Based upon prophecy, the last kingdom that was going to stand was really, when you go into it, it's Rome reincarnated. Okay. Rome, the revised Roman Empire, which is basically NATO and the EU. And not basically, it is NATO and the EU. And America is the pretty much like when we read in Revelation the 17th chapter, the woman that sitteth upon the scarlet colored beast, right? So it tells us talks about the 10 toes and how the 10 toes is gonna be matter of fact, let me shut up and just read the scripture, right? Because this is where we at. Before I go and read that, Salakia, if I'm all over the place, but I got a lot running through my mind. But I'm going to read that in Daniel. I want to be clear. Before I read that, I want to get this in Second Esdras, right? Second Esdras 9:1, because the Most High gave us the perfect measuring tool to know where we are at on this biblical and historical timeline. Okay, so this is Second Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is this very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So using prophecy as a gauging tool, we know exactly what time we're in. We know we in the end of this man's rule. Okay? Come back to the book of Daniel, the second chapter. I'm going to go to the 40th verse, because it talks about the fourth beast, right? It says, and the fourth kingdom, I'm sorry, not the fourth beast. It talks about the fourth kingdom of the image, all right? It says, and the fourth kingdom shall, let me see. I'm going to start at 39, Salakia. It says, and after these shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. All right, now it's talking about the Roman Empire, but it's talking about the last leg of the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire came back. We know that based upon Revelation the 13th chapter. Okay, let me see if I can find that real quick, and continue back in Daniel the second chapter. This is how we know that when we read Daniel the second chapter, it's not talking about just Rome by itself, or Rome, the ancient pagan Roman Empire. Okay, Rome came back into power around the late 1300s to mid I'm sorry, mid to late 1800s. Okay. Now this is Revelation during the time of the Renaissance period. That was that was the Roman Empire coming back into power. Because what does Renaissance mean? Rebirth. So let me find the verse right here in Revelation 13. I'm looking for it. Okay, Revelation 13 and 3, it says, "And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast." Okay, so that beast is talking about Rome. The Roman Empire, it said it was wounded, but not to death. And the reason for that is because it came back. The Roman Empire came back as through NATO and the EU. All right, and America is a part of it. Really over it, you see? And that's pretty much it on that. Because I'm going to wrap this lesson up in just a minute. But back in Daniel 2, it says, whereas thou sawest, 2 and 41, Daniel 2 and 41, it says, "And whereas thou sawest the feet," so it's talking about the image, starts from the head all the way to the toes, right? And the toes is what? That's the end of any other kingdom ruling, which is the last kingdom would be Rome, the end of the Roman Empire, the last leg, like the Apostle Tahar like to say, leg of the Roman Empire, okay, which is we living in it. Okay, the 10 toes would represent the European Union, okay, which started with 10 countries, so to speak. It says, "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron." Let me read that again. "But there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay." And we witnessing that right now. If you paying attention to the news, the situation over in Europe with the European Union, they're not sticking together, right? You got some of those nations or countries that are part of the EU that are partly strong financially, and some that are weak financially, and they not the stronger ones that are stronger or better off financially. They not coming to the aid of the weaker nations financially. Okay, like we know about the situation with Brexit. Okay, where the Britain wants to exit the European Union. You see? Why? Because it's falling apart. Because this man's time of ruling is about up. So we know where we at, because as we read down, as I read in Daniel 2 and 44, it talks about the kingdom that's gonna stand forever. Once we see this this parabolic talk that we read in verse 41 about the feet and the toes, partly strong, partly weak. But the weak part is the clay, the strong part represent the iron represent the strong part of these legs and toes, which represent the European Union. You see, and we see that in fruition as we speak. So we know that this place is going down, amongst many other signs, you know. Let me hit a couple of scriptures and I'm gonna close this video out. I want to bring out Job 14 and Job 14 and 5. All right, Job chapter 14 verse 5. It says, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So when the Most High set up a time period for a kingdom to rule, they not going to go past a second pass with the Most High have set for that, or how long the Most High has set for that place to rule. Okay? The so-called white man ain't going to add another second on his time to rule, though he may believe it. Okay, this is all in the hands of the Most High power. You know, we can't wait to get out of this wicked ass kingdom, you know, get from under this wicked rule, you know. With that, that's pretty much it. I had some other scriptures, and, you know, this is a topic that, you know, you could talk about for hours, you know, but I want to push that energy out there that the so-called white man, his kingdom is going down. His time is up for ruling on in this world, you know. So like the scripture saying, Lamentation 4:22, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Okay? In that same verse, it say they're going to drink of the cup. The cup shall pass on to them. The cup of slavery. They going from rulership to slaves. Okay? With that, I want to, I hope this lesson was edifying and exhorting to our spirits, you know, the brothers that teach this word. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory once again to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Bakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit, and peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.